Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Phil Frost. I work for a US company called Verdesian, but as you can hear, I'm not from the US at all. I am from a little country called Zimbabwe, which I'm sure you've heard of, and I'll discuss it in a short while. I come to you after 8 years. 8 years ago, I came to the US for the first time, attached to the Tata Cornell Institute from Cornell University. As you may know, Mr. Ratan Tata is an alumni from Cornell University, and he has invested a significant value of money so that India can be studied. I came here 8 years ago, and I did a study on soil health in the state of Jharkhand, which was published in 2019. If I can get this to work, it'll go so much better, I hope. So the study on the soil health in Jharkhand was published in 2019, and it indicated some really important issues that soil health faces. There's been a lot of talk about soil health this evening, and the study was one which included all of those details. I now joined Verdesian, and we are here to talk about nutrient use efficiency. So it's interesting, this farmer from Zimbabwe was able to come and learn a lot in India, and now has an opportunity to share back again some of the important things that he's learned about soil health. I also want to tell you that Zimbabwe is very important to India in another sense. I don't know if you know this, but Zimbabwe has influenced Indian cricket very significantly. In 1983, it was Zimbabwe who helped India win the World Cup. Before India played Zimbabwe, they were playing very terrible cricket, I'm afraid to say. They were just about ready to go home, and they played Zimbabwe, and Zimbabwe gave them a coach on how to beat a country very well. Zimbabwe lost terribly, and India's confidence grew significantly, and they went on to win the World Cup in 1983. And they did a wonderful job with that, with Kapil Dev holding the cup on high. So here I am talking about nutrient use efficiency. What is it in particular? So nutrient use efficiency is maximizing each unit of input to get a maximum output in quantity, in quality, ensuring that we are sustainable through maximizing nutrient availability, accessibility, and assimilation. So nutrient use efficiency, from scientifically developed and patented technologies to address the inefficiencies in nutrient availability. One of the key nutrient losses is in nitrogen. We know that nitrogen can be lost through 3 loss pathways, including leaching, denitrification, and volatilization. And those loss pathways result in around about 50% of applied nitrogen being unavailable to the plant and to the farmer. When we look at when we look at phosphates, we can see there is another very serious inefficiency of total soil P of around about 3,000 kgs per hectare. Only between 1 and 2 kgs per hectare is plant available, with a lot of the other phosphate molecules being unavailable due to fixation, due to iron, aluminium, copper, calcium, and magnesium. And so the efficiencies of our nutrients are very poor. So what the farmer does is he goes out and he can buy 5 bags of fertilizer, but by the time he uses it in his crop, he's only using 2. And that should be of a real concern to each one of us, because someone is paying for all 5, and we're only getting 3 or 2 out of the use of the fertilizer. How can we help? The solution lies with stabilizing our nutrients. We have a phosphate stabilizer called Avail with a high cation exchange capacity of 1800 milliequivalents of charge, which attracts the positive ions within the soil that generally tie up phosphates. This gives us an increase of around about 45% of the phosphates available to us. In addition to that, if I can get this to change quick enough, we can protect our nitrogen sources as well with a very strong charge that attracts the ammonium cation to this electrical charge and holds it in the most available form throughout the season, preventing soil loss, including durability, so that we get optimum usage of our nitrogen technology. Cytozyme, the company that originally was involved in India, was the first company to bring biostimulants into India, and working with some of the great companies within the region, UPL, Corteva, JU, and Nuzividu Seeds. So we thank you very much for that opportunity to work with them. A brand new technology which we're bringing into the country is called Primacy Alpha. I bring your attention to the graph on the right-hand side. The left are essentially numeric numbers of this test that was done, where in the first bar graph you see nitrate uptake, which is achieved through the application of Primacy Alpha, increasing by nearly double in oats and 57% in tobacco. What's interesting is, despite the significant increase in uptake of nitrates, the measurement in the leaf went down as opposed to up. And that is because the Primacy Alpha technology is using the nitrates to produce the leaf proteins on the third. These indicate the fundamental processes of chlorophyll production, carbon dioxide fixation, and growth being increased from the application of Primacy Alpha, which can then be followed towards the end of the season, when the stress levels are extremely high, by Crop Plus. We know that 65% of yield loss is there because of abiotic stress, and we can counter that with the use of Crop Plus, which is there as a stress mitigator against the reactive oxygen species, indicated by the color change from the dark purple to the yellow. So the technology that we have, from nutrient stabilization to biostimulants to stress management, all together influence nutrient use efficiency in the objective to get the maximum output from each unit of input. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Frost.